Do you fart in front of your partner? Why? Why not? No, I fart behind my partner, so it sneaks up on her. Yeah, and then I say, fuck, is it just me or I smell popcorn? Do you smell it too? I ask, do you smell smoke? So they sniff around multiple times. Cute, but kind of sad story. My grandma and grandpa were together for 40 years. My grandma never farted in front of him ever. She was diagnosed with cancer and after a good battle was sent home on hospice. The day before she passed, she farted in front of him. It wasn't loud and it really stunk, but we all knew it was her. My grandpa didn't even blink and apologize to us and took the blame. It was something small, but it's been years since it happened and it still gives me that awe feeling. He knew how she felt and her stance about farting in front of her partner. I'm sorry, I can't help but read your first sentence as been together for 40 years. I mean, according to the comments in our house, it's always the dogs. But yes, I do. We're married. I wasn't about to spend the rest of my life hiding a very natural bodily function. He also knows that I poop. I tried blaming it on the dog. She keeps saying we don't have one, except me. What to tell you, bud? Our dogs somehow manage to fart even when they're not with us. Crazy how sound travels like that. Maybe it's the sound of a duck quacking. All must live near ducks or something. Traveling preacher gets invited back to a family's house after his sermon. In the middle of dinner, he has to fart and lets a silent but deadly out. The father of the hosting household looks under the table and says to the family dog, Rex, get out from under the table. Preacher thinks to himself, I'm getting away with this, and lets another fart fly. Mother says, Rex, get out from under the table right now. Preacher thinks, I'm golden, and lets another fart go. Grandmama of the house says, Rex, you better get out from under that table before that preacher shits on you. That's amazing. Very rarely. I mean, I won't die of embarrassment, but I also won't do it out of respect for the fact that nobody else wants to smell that. The kids, though, I fart on them a lot. I was talking to my brother at his house, and out of nowhere, his daughter came running downstairs, backed into him, and farted on his leg, and ran back upstairs giggling. Then his other two kids ran down and did the same, a few minutes in between. He's just like, I'll get them back later. That experience would complete me. Fuck them kids, lol. Those little shits hotbox me in my own minivan every week. Male, when my son does that in the back seat, his little sister says at the top of her lungs, unbatten the hatch is good times. My daughter got me in the car wash knowing I couldn't roll the windows down. I was so proud of her. Well, you just gave me an idea. What? Are you going to be like, quick, let's go to the car wash, and somehow manage to hold a fart for like 30 minutes till you get there? Are you going to intentionally coordinate bean night with car wash night? How are you people impromptu farting? So many Redditors are going to accidentally poop their pants in the car wash this week. Not purposely. I might have an accident every now and then, like lifting something heavy. I hate when the accidental fart happens, but at the same time, it can be quite funny. Was helping my girlfriend's father lift a coffee table, and in the process, I ripped one. Loud one, mind you. Thankfully, the father was very chill about it and admitted that he farts around his wife, so I instantly felt better about it. Still was awkward at first. My wife vividly remembers and likes to tell me of the time before we were dating that I slipped and fell and farted and apparently made a funny face. She still laughs at it. Yes, sometimes I do it by accident, sometimes I do it intentionally. When my partner visits, when we are in bed and we get quiet because we're trying to sleep, I'll randomly let one rip after about 10 minutes of silences and then we'll burst out laughing. Farts are always funny. The louder and longer they better. I laughed just reading your comment about a long, loud fart. That's how funny they are. Farts are timeless humor. If the farts don't stink, 100, if they're peeling the paint off the walls. No, nobody wants to exist in your stink. You know if your farts will stink ahead of time. Every fart has a feel. Please share your wisdom. In my experience, if you feel bloated, it's going to be a ripper, but if you feel your insides churning a bit, then it's going to be a nuke. This guy shits. Username checks out. No, but I also try not to do it in front of anyone if I can help it. The smell isn't pleasant, obviously, so I prefer to go in an empty room or the bathroom so no one else has to smell it. No embarrassment factor or anything, just don't want to subject people to a stink unnecessarily. You are quite decent. Decent. I have not, nor will I in front of my girlfriend or any past exes. It always becomes a thing because I try to be considerate, and then the fact that they've never heard me fart becomes a quest for them, which only strengthens my resolve to continue the mystery. I was like you once, and I fully support you in your continued endeavor. I refused to pass gas in from my partner for the first couple of years of our relationship, aside from just not wanting to subject anyone, let alone my partner, to the unpleasantness. It just felt like one very small little consideration that might go some way toward preserving a sense of romance. It suddenly dawned on her one day that she has never heard me do it. On one hand, she was happy that she finally understood why I would occasionally stand up and wander out of the room mid-conversation. On the other hand, she felt as though she was being denied some weird form of intimacy, as if my refusal to do that in front of her spoke to some deeper problem lack of trust within the relationship. She made it a jokey, half-hearted mission to convince me to do it in front of her. I resisted for a bit, but finally gifted her one on an anniversary. Her joy was short-lived. Before long, she lamented that she had opened Pandora's ass. I've tried to remain a decent partner and mostly kept it to a minimum in the decade. Plus, since she's still the only person it ever happens in front of, so I guess that's some sort of bond. Still, once it's out there, you can never go back again. Pandora's ass law. My partner does because he can let out small, non-offensive ones where he just says, "Excuse me," and moves on. I have stomach issues though, so it's not all cutesy for me. I'm never just going to let it out in front of him. I won't willingly in front of anyone. My husband will set each bubble in his tummy free. Except while I'm eating. Lines have been drawn. I, however, don't let them loose in front of anyone. I think it's rude. It's how I was raised. But after 20 years together, he says all he wants for his birthday or anniversary is for me to let it rip wildly. So now, I won't because it has built up into too much. Don't get me wrong, one or two have gotten away while I slept, and he will literally wake me up all excited, exclaiming that it must be his birthday. He is such a dork. That is the most adorable thing I've ever read. Eat it, tip. When I'm in a public bathroom or client's house, I'm a woman. And I have to, as you say, set the bubbles in my tummy free. Giggles, I take the hand I'm not wiping with, take a bit of toilet paper tissue and put it up against my bubble maker. It muffles the sound completely. Try it at home first. It works. I'm sorry, your edit has me dead, Leo. An embarrassed older lady visited her doctor for help with a problem. Doctor, I don't know what's wrong, but I fart all the time. It's strange because they are both silent and odorless, but they keep coming out. In fact, I farted about 6 times just sitting here. What can I do? The doctor replied, Here, take one of these pills every morning and then come see me in a week. A week later, the old lady came back to the doctor very upset. Doctor, those pills didn't help. They made it worse. I'm still farting, but now they stink horribly. The doctor replied, Good. Now that we've cleared your sinuses, we can work on your hearing. I will hold in a good fart and go find my wife to present it to her. Present. Fantastic. Question is, does his wife approve his presentation? As the wife of a husband that does something similar. No, we do not. I'm a wife and I sometimes do the same thing to my partner. If you can't beat them, join them. Hell yes. I'm not competitive in any area of my life really, but if he's going to fart at me, I will blast that mofo into hell with my farts. If I have to hold in my farts and be uncomfortable and be in pain, I don't need them in my life. I'm in. I commented elsewhere that I am someone that's weird about farts isn't someone for me. I don't have but holding in a day's worth of gas definitely isn't healthy or comfortable. Especially so if someone has eyes. Yes, because it's funny. Same, my husband and I fart in front of each other whenever we got one. Started probably about a month into our relationship. The first time I stayed the night at my now wife's apartment, we had to go to Target to get a plunger because I clogged the toilet. It was definitely a double flusher, but the bathroom was right next to the TV room and I didn't want to flush twice out of embarrassment. Flushing twice would have been infinitely less embarrassing than the conversation that followed. We still have the plunger. It was my first gift to her. More stories on the channel. RedStore.